The door to our cramped Brooklyn walk-up slammed open like a gunshot in the dead of night, shattering the fragile bubble I'd built around my breakdown. I froze mid-sob, snotty tissues clutched in my fist, my face a swollen mess under the harsh glow of the single lamp I'd left on. Evidence of a man unraveling thread by thread. Jordan stood there, grocery bags slipping from his grip, his blue eyes widening not in shock, but in something softer, sharper, recognition, like he'd been waiting for this moment his whole damn life. Alex? Jesus. Man. What the hell happened? His voice cracked on the last word. Not pity, but a raw edge that mirrored the ache in my chest, pulling me under before I could even think to hide. I wanted to bolt, to vanish into the steam of the fire, escape like the ghosts of every secret I'd buried. But his shadow fell over me, warm and unyielding, and in that instant, I knew. This was the fracture that would either break us or bind us forever. The rain had started just after midnight, a relentless New York downpour that turned the streets into rivers of regret. I'd been staring at my phone for hours, the screen a graveyard of unanswered texts from my ex, Marcus. We'd met 2 years ago at a dive bar in the East Village, back when I was still pretending my heart was bulletproof. He was all sharp jawlines and sharper wit, a graphic designer with a laugh that could disarm a room. But love in the city is a thief, and Marcus had stolen pieces of me until there was nothing left but echoes. Tonight's message was the final cut. I'm sorry, but it's over. Don't make this harder. No explanation. No goodbye over cheap whiskey like we deserved. Just a digital guillotine. I'd crumpled onto the couch, the one we'd picked out together from a stoop sale in Williamsburg, and let the sobs rip free. No roommate in sight. Jordan was out grabbing late-night supplies for his latest freelance gig, some ad campaign for a craft beer that promised authenticity, while tasting like watered-down lies. Our apartment was a testament to millennial survival. Exposed brick walls scarred by previous tenants, a kitchenette where the fridge hummed like a judgmental ant, and a living room that doubled as my makeshift office. Jordan and I had answered the Craigslist ad on the same rainy afternoon last spring. Two strangers thrown together by desperation and a shared hatred for Manhattan rents. He was the golden boy from some suburb in Jersey, lacrosse captain in high school, now a rising star at a marketing firm uptown. I was the artsy type, scraping by as a barista at a hipster cafe in Bushwick while chasing a screenwriting dream that felt more like a fever dream these days. We'd clicked easy at first. Movie nights with bad takeout, him quoting lines from The Godfather while I dissected indie flicks nobody else cared about. He never pried about my dates, and I never asked why his were always with women who looked like they stepped out of a J. Crew catalog. It was the unspoken rule of roommatehood. Keep it light, keep it safe. But safety is a lie we tell ourselves until the mask slips. When Jordan dropped to his knees in front of me, the bags thudded to the floor, cans of beans and a six-pack rolling lazy across the hardwood. He didn't touch me, not yet, just hovered there, his broad shoulders casting a shadow that swallowed the lamplight. "Talk to me," he said, voice low like he was coaxing a stray cat. "Or don't. But I'm not leaving you like this." I swiped at my eyes, tasting salt and shame. "It's nothing. Just Marcus." He ended it. "Clean break, right? Like I'm some plot twist," he wrote out. Jordan's jaw tightened, a muscle ticking like a countdown. He grabbed a tissue from the box I'd decimated and handed it over, his fingers brushing mine. "Electric. Accidental. Gone too fast. That guy's an idiot. Always was. You deserve better than radio silence from a coward. You'd think that would be it." A pat on the back and a beer cracked open to drown the hurt. But Jordan didn't move. He sank onto the couch beside me, close enough that I could smell the rain on his jacket mixed with that cedar cologne he wore, The one that always lingered in the hallway like a promise. Remember that time in college? Sophomore year. After the championship game. I blinked. Thrown. We'd swapped stories before, but never this deep. Yeah, you carried your team to victory, then ghosted your own victory party. He laughed, but it was hollow, scraped raw. Not the win. The loss before that. My best friend, Tyler. We were more than friends. You know? Kept it buried under all that bro code bullshit. Then he bails for some girl from the sorority row. Leaves me crying in the locker room like a chump. Coach finds me, tells me to man up, as if tears make you less of a man. The words hung there, heavy as the storm outside. Jordan, the unflappable one, admitting to cracks in his armor. I turned, really looked at him, those eyes, stormy blue now, holding ghosts I hadn't seen before. Why tell me this now? Because seeing you like this, it rips the scab off. And maybe it's time I stopped pretending. The clock on the wall ticked like a heartbeat, syncing with the thunder rumbling over the East River. I reached out, tentative, my hand finding his knee. He didn't pull away. Instead, he covered it with his own, warm and steady. That night, we didn't sleep. We talked until the rain tapered to a drizzle, unraveling threads of pain we'd both knotted tight. Marcus's betrayal echoed Tyler's, but in the sharing, it felt less like a wound and more like a bridge. By dawn, the city was waking, horns blaring, vendors shouting from trucks below our window. Jordan brewed coffee strong enough to wake the dead, and we sat at the rickety table, mugs steaming between us. What now? I asked, voice hoarse from the night's confessions. He leaned back, sunlight catching the stubble on his jaw. We start over. No more hiding. You and me against this concrete jungle. It sounded simple, poetic even. But New York has a way of twisting poetry into prose, and ours was just beginning to bleed. The weeks that followed were a haze of fragile hope. Jordan's confession cracked open something in me, a door I'd nailed shut after too many rejections. We'd always been easy together. Now, it was electric. Mornings started with him bumping my shoulder in the kitchen, a grin that said I see you, no words needed. Evenings blurred into late-night walks along the promenade in Dumbo, the Manhattan skyline glittering like a distant dream. We'd talk about everything. My script about a queer kid chasing stardom in Hollywood, his secret sketches of cityscapes that he hid in a drawer like contraband. One night, under the carousel lights at the old pier, he stopped mid-sentence, his hand grazing mine. Alex, this is not just roommate shit anymore, is it? My heart jackhammered. No, it's terrifying. And real. He pulled me close then, our first kiss tentative, tasting of salt air and possibility. Fireworks popped over the water, some tourist display, but they had nothing on the spark between us. For the first time, I felt anchored, not adrift in the city's chaos. But anchors can drag you under. Started small, fissures in the foundation. Jordan's phone buzzed more at odd hours. Texts he dismissed with a wave. Work stuff, he'd say, but his eyes would dart away. I trusted him. Hell, after that night of tears, how could I not? But doubt is a weed, and New York soil is fertile. Then came the invitation. His firm's holiday gala, black tie affair at some swanky rooftop in Midtown. Come with me, he said, tying his tie in the mirror, all charm and nerves. Be my +1. Officially, I hesitated, the word boyfriend still foreign on my tongue. You sure? Your colleagues. They know. He turned, cupping my face. They will. And if they don't like it, screw 'em. This is us. The night was a whirlwind, crystal flutes, laughter echoing off glass walls, the city sprawling below like a jeweled conquest. Jordan's hand stayed firm at the small of my back, introducing me as Alex, my partner. Heads turned, whispers rippled, but his grip never faltered. We danced to some jazz quartet, his breath warm on my neck, and for those hours, the world felt conquerable. Until Elena. She swept in like a storm cloud, all red lipstick and designer heels. Jordan's ex from college, the one who'd poached Tyler, or so the story went. No, wait. Tyler had left Jordan for her. Ancient history, he'd said. But there she was, air-kissing his cheeks, her eyes lingering too long. Jordan, darling, it's been ages. Who's this? She sized me up like a rival bidder at auction. Alex, he said evenly, arm tightening around me. My boyfriend. Her laugh tinkled like breaking ice. Oh, how progressive. Tyler sends his regards. By the way, he's in town, wants to catch up. The name hit like a sucker punch. Jordan's face paled, but he recovered quick. Tell him I said hi. The rest of the night blurred. Elena cornered him by the bar later, their heads bent close. I nursed a gin and tonic, pretending not to watch. When he returned, his smile was strained. Old drama. Nothing, but seeds of doubt sprouted fast. The next morning, I woke to an empty bed. Jordan's side was cool. A note on the pillow, meeting Elena for coffee. Clearing air. Love you. My stomach twisted. Love you, our first time saying it, scribbled like an afterthought. He came back hours later, smelling of her perfume, floral, invasive. It was nothing, he insisted, collapsing onto the couch. She just wanted closure about Tyler. Turns out he's getting married. To her, actually. Years ago. Relief flooded me, but it was tainted. Why now? After all this time, Jordan rubbed his temples. Guilt, I guess. She apologized for what happened back then. Said she didn't know about us until it was too late. The word that had shattered him once. I wanted to believe it, but the apartment felt smaller, shadows longer. That night, as we lay tangled in sheets, his phone lit up on the nightstand. A text preview. Can't stop thinking about last night. Tyler's right, you're still the one. From Elena. He snatched it quick, but not quick enough. What the hell? Jordan. It's a misunderstanding, he stammered, sitting up. She's drunk. Nostalgic. Means nothing, but the crack had widened. Trust. That fragile bird. Fluttered against its cage. The betrayal didn't come in a flood. It eroded, slow and insidious, like the Hudson gnawing at its banks. Jordan pulled away in increments. Longer hours at work, excuses piling like unwashed dishes. I catch him staring out the window, lost in some reverie that didn't include me. Our kisses turned perfunctory, touches hesitant. I threw myself into my script, typing furiously at the cafe, channeling the ache into fictional heartbreak. But fiction can't fix reality. One evening, I came home early, key scraping in the lock, to find him on the couch. Not crying this time, but on the phone, voice low and laced with longing. Yeah, Elena, I miss it too. The way things were. I stood frozen in the doorway, rain dripping from my coat, the words slicing deeper than Marcus's text ever could. He saw me then, eyes widening in horror. Alex, shit. I didn't hear you. The phone clattered to the floor. The way things were, with her, after everything. He stood, hands out like I was a spooked animal. It's not what you think. She's going through a divorce. Tyler cheated. Ironic, right? She just needed someone to talk to. Someone who gets it. Someone who gets her. I shot back, voice breaking. Not me. Not us. The argument exploded. Words like shrapnel. My insecurities laid bare, his defenses crumbling. You think this is easy for me? He yelled, pacing the room. Coming out late, after burying it for years. Elena's safe, familiar pain. You're the real thing, and it scares the shit out of me. I grabbed my jacket, storm surging outside mirroring the one in my chest. Scared? Try betrayed. Again. The door slammed behind me, echoing into the night. I wandered the streets, neon signs blurring through tears, until I ended up at that same East Village bar where Marcus and I had started. Irony, thy name is heartbreak. Hours later, or was it minutes? Time dilates in despair. My phone buzzed. Jordan, please come home. I fucked up. Let me explain. Against better judgment, I did. The apartment was trashed. Lamps knocked over, his sketches scattered like fallen leaves. He was on the floor, back against the wall, face streaked. I told her. He choked out as I entered. Everything. About you. That it's over for good. She won't call again. I slid down beside him, our shoulders touching. Why her? Why now? He turned, eyes red-rimmed. Because I'm weak. Because the past is a habit. And you're the future I don't deserve yet. But I want to. God. Alex. I want to. We sat there, breaths sinking, the storm raging on. No grand gestures, no sweeping declarations, just two broken men piecing themselves back. The climax came not in screams, but in silence. Days turned to a week of tentative truce. Shared meals, careful words. Then, the call from his boss. Elena had pulled strings, leaked his distraction to HR, whispers of instability, questions about his lifestyle. The firm, progressive on paper, balked at the optics. You're firing me? Jordan's voice was steel over the line, but when he hung up, he shattered, punched the wall, blood blooming on knuckles. I bandaged him in the bathroom, fluorescent light harsh on his defeat. This is my fault, I whispered, tape sticking to skin. No, he said fiercely, pulling me close. It's theirs. And hers. But mostly mine for not fighting sooner. We quit the apartment that week, subletting to some wide-eyed couple from Ohio. Packed boxes with ghosts, but lighter now, unburdened. Jordan landed a freelance gig with an indie agency. Smaller paycheck, bigger soul. I sold my script outline to a producer in LA, a foot in the door I'd clawed for. On our last night in Brooklyn, we stood on the fire escape, city humming below. His hand found mine, fingers lacing tight. What now? I asked, echoing that dawn weeks ago. He smiled, real this time, crinkled eyes, no shadows. We build. Together. No more hiding, no more half-truths. The rain had stopped, stars peeking through smog. It wasn't a fairy tale end, no wedding bells or white pickets. Just us, scarred and standing, in a city that chews dreams but spits out diamonds if you hold on. Betrayal had cracked us open, but in the mending, we found grace. Human, messy, profound. And in each other's arms, closer than ever. Two hearts beating against the pulse of America. Unbreakable.